Today we're going to study Bato Dugarzhapov, and I'm not sure if I should go for this one or this one. Actually, I feel more comfortable with this one. This one looks like something that I wouldn't normally do, so maybe I'll go for this one. And stuff we're testing today is specifically some really some kind of nice smudge changes, which I'm going to show you here. So Smudge has always had this issue where if you do a smudge, if you change the resolution of the piece, the smudge would look different. So you know, if you do a 200 pixel by 200 pixel, you do some smudges and then you scale it up to like 3000 pixel by 3000 pixel, and then the smudge looks totally different. So that finally, I've been trying to figure that out for like since at least for over a year. I've been trying to figure out why that happens, and finally just randomly found it in a video today, so I'm very happy about that. We have smudge that can finally go across different resolutions now. And I was looking at the old smudge too from the the current version of iPad HEAVYPAINT, and I still miss certain things about it, so I tried to bring back some of those things, like the strength setting. So this is something that was kind of missing from the current version, but I think this is a really cool setting because you can get really messy, kind of ugly, crazy looking, chaotic stuff with a higher strength here. So it just makes it go more wild, and yeah, I really like this look. So we got the strength back. You can always turn it down low to make it more, I guess, reasonable. It looks more normal. And then the dryness setting has also been changed. The name has been changed to noise amount, because I think that describes it better. And I also found another setting that might work better with the name dryness, and I'm gonna add that in later. But I've always been kind of bothered by that name. I didn't think it matched exactly right. So I'm really happy with these new smudge changes today. Another sort of smudge related change is that now inputs happen on a fixed rate. So before, it would just grab input from your pen as fast as it could. So you know, if your device is doing like 60 frames per second, then it's gonna be recording the input as fast as possible at 60 frames per second or whatever. The issue with that is that this happens with video games too, where you might have a variable frame rate. Like 1 second it's 60, 1 second it's 40, 1 second it's jumping around up and down at all times. It's not a perfectly constant frame rate. And the issue, that issue really showed up with smudge strokes, because the smudge strength, or like the amount of smudge, is actually tied to the speed at which the stroke is going. So imagine the speed was like jumping around kind of erratically of the stroke, because it's being recorded at different points in time. So even if the user was drawing a stroke at a constant speed, it was not able to record it at that constant speed, so it would just like give you these weird erratic jumps in the smudge. I don't know if anybody actually noticed that, but I noticed it, and it was always bothering me. So that's been sorted out now. So now it does use a constant. It's forced to use a constant, what they call a physics frame rate. So a lot of video games will use a separate rate for physics alone, which means that the gameplay and the physics and anything that is time sensitive will run on this physics process, which is locked in at say 60 frames per second, and it will never vary at all. So you know at least these time sensitive things are happening for sure. And then the frame rate can jump around and doesn't really matter because we don't really care about the frame rate. We just want to make sure that the logic is happening on the correct timing. So it took me long enough to figure that out, but now it's figured. So we've got the logic all sorted out so that it happens correctly on time. And now the smudges look a lot more consistent. And this is going to be a help even for desktop too. It's not just an iPad thing. This is for everybody. So it's a good day. Good work day, I guess. Trying to figure out stuff. But anyway, I really like this guy's style. I wasn't familiar with his work until a couple days ago. I saw it on Twitter, but I am really into this. It's very luscious looking. I specifically like all the brushwork here, so I'm going to try to get some of that in with the new smudge and just play around with it. But I am feeling pretty close to the layers version being done. I'm almost there. At least for the iOS release. I know I say that every single time, but we're on build number 50 by now, I think, of the iOS beta version. So I think it's about ready to go. Just need to press the button. You know, it's just kind of I've been scared to press that button for so long, but what I think I'm gonna do, I recently found out that if you publish, you can publish without making it an auto update, basically. So any new users will get this new version, but the old users will just stay on their old version. So I think I'm gonna do that, so that if somebody wants to upgrade, they can from the old version. They would have to go to the App Store and manually just say update, but it's not going to auto update, which I think would probably catch a lot of people off guard. But at least this way we can start to get the this new version out in the world, and get people get hands on it, so that we can then be more confident with it. So yeah, almost there. We're just gonna sort out this new smudge stuff. It's very close. I like all the little grainy. It's very noisy over here, which I like a lot, so I'm gonna try to capture that maybe with a bunch of color jitter and get real close to white over there. This house back here, I'm gonna go a lot calmer with the jitter. I don't think it's jumping around as much. Maybe not as green. maybe this tree back here, if I get some of these values in and try to smudge. Try higher. Open the window. Hey, Mike J. Whew. Oh, that's nice. Whew. Yeah, I'm really not used to painting like this where you just make tons of strokes and you're sort of like painting it in little pixels almost. I usually like to go with bigger strokes, or as big as possible, and fill up as much as possible at once, but this is pretty cool because I guess you can get a lot more detail with these little tiny bits. I'm just afraid that I'm gonna make this into like, it'll become too mushy or too messy because there's just so many little strokes everywhere. It's hard to keep track of them. I think I might have to merge this down at the end to get all this little brushwork and smudgies in here, which I think would be pretty fun. How do you keep being consistent? What do you mean consistent? Do you mean consistent in the number of studies that I'm doing? Or like the style of studies? The number. Okay, well, I don't know. Do you try to do one every day? And you just don't feel like doing it? Is that what happens? I don't know what to say. It's pretty... I'm not even doing it every day, though, honestly. I maybe do 2 or 3 in a week. Do you enjoy doing the studies? That's a big thing, I think. So you have to sort of enjoy it. Is it too boring? That could be another problem. Just don't feel like doing it because you feel like you're not going to learn anything. I don't know. I'm not actually the best at being consistent. I do know that it's basically the only way to get better, though. You just have to do it. No one else is gonna be able to do it for you. Just struggling with keeping a routine. Well, what's the struggle with the routine? Is it that is your calendar full? Do you have a calendar? Do you have too much responsibilities? Are you doing too many things at one time? Are you like doing school or doing work or homework or blah blah blah? How much stuff are you doing during the week? Because you have to make time too for yourself. That's something that I think is a little bit tricky and we never learn how to do. At least in school they teach you how to work hard in school, but they don't really teach you how to control your schedule. Like, they give you a lot of stuff to do and they tell you to do it and you kind of have to do it, so you have to figure out how to save time and get as much done as possible. But what they don't show you is that sometimes you have to say no to things in order for other things to happen. You can't do everything at once. Because there's no such thing in school as being like, oh, I don't want to do that homework, Mr. Professor. So you kind of have to learn that on your own. I'm not saying like not to do homework, but or not to listen to your boss or whatever. But okay, well, I guess what I'm asking is the do you think the problem is that you have enough time and you're just not using it properly, or is the problem that you really don't have time and like your schedule is way too busy and there's just no time left? I'm not saying either way is right or wrong. I'm saying like which one is it that's the problem? I think I've been lucky that I haven't had the issue of like, because I know a lot of my friends sort of run into the issue of like they're always working, they're always sort of chasing stuff, and like they're super busy all the time, and like they get their schedule super packed, and I'm sort of the opposite. I'm very, I think I'm pretty lazy by nature. So I don't want to have my schedule being packed at all. But yeah, during school, like school is a whole nother story because you're just constantly busy during school, so there's not really anything you can do. I mean, if you're going to art school, then you probably are forced to do a lot of this stuff for homework anyway, but if you're not going to art school, then yeah, maybe it's hard to find time. You think you have a lot of time. Oh, okay, that's good. Well, at least that's a better problem to have than saying that like your schedule is completely full, you have no time at all. Because, you know, you're already ahead. All you have to do is do it. You don't have to worry about clearing out your schedule, at least. Alright, well, This new smudge, I think, is feeling... It's pretty nice. I like it. It's a lot more... It's more raw than the old smudge. It's not as soft and gooey as the old smudge. And in the future, I'm probably going to add in the ability to control that too, so the new dryness setting will probably control how wet or dry the smudge feels. And it's going to use this thing called MIP maps to do it, which is something sort of not really designed for smudging. It's actually designed to like save performance, but we can sort of reuse that quirk and make it so that the smudge either looks more mushy or more sharp. MIP maps basically, I think, if you have an image in a video game or something, the MIP map will be like a... If you're looking at a high resolution image but it's sized really tiny, then you'll be switching to like a placeholder version of it that's sort of low res, and that's what a MIP map is. And we can use that with the smudge to say, okay, instead of having our full crispy high resolution smudge, we're going to use like a more mushy low res, not really low res, but like a blurry version of the smudge, and that will be like the that will be like the wet version of the smudge versus the dry version of the smudge. Yeah, so basically HEAVYPAINT is based on a video game engine, so we're using a lot of video game tricks and technologies in here to get our effects. And it's pretty fun, because sometimes you get to repurpose stuff and mix it around and like use things that maybe are not designed to do certain things, but if it looks good, then it is good, right? With this engine, so it's kind of like a creative, fun puzzle. That snap. Oh. Hey, Jaden. What happened to our music? Huh.
On every day I read.
That was weird. Yeah, thank you, Troken. Well, anyway, I hope you find some time. Just try to do like 10 minutes. 10 minutes in a day. No big deal. Usually I find that if I try to do like 10 minutes I'll end up doing like an hour because I'll just get into it and sort of forget what I'll just get lost in it, which is a good thing, I think. Let me save this. I'm gonna check the stats real quick. Whoa! What the hell? That's not right. I broke something with the stats. Okay, good to know. My spidey senses. So I'm going to try to just put in all the paint that I can first, and then at the very end I'll just merge it all just to test out the smudging, and then call it. Yeah, so basically what happens if you turn the strength up super high to like 4.5 or whatever, it will start picking up colors that are even way outside the stroke. So you see it's like picking up this color from the sky, picking up the mountain, and that's just, I mean, I think it's kind of lively when you can get that kind of craziness in there, and it sort of looks like that's what's happening here on the over here in the grass patch. It looks like, you know, grabbing colors from outside and just sticking them in there. So I think this having the at least the ability to go ham on the strength is nice. Yeah, make it all super messy, which is nice. wonder if I can get this pattern over here of the squiggles. Try with the pressure. I need to merge this down. Kind of working. These little zigzags. Yeah, it feels nice. I'm gonna try to do it over here. And like I said before, the speed controls the smudge too. So if you go really fast, it's gonna grab colors from like way out. And if you go nice and slow, you'll have a nice controlled blend. This feels nice. Yeah, definitely better than the old smudge, I think. I am happy with this. Feels more practical, I think. I like that it actually gets kind of dark right here, right up next to the overlapping. So I'm gonna try to get that going. Makes it more contrasty. Cool. Alright, maybe the tree could use a little love. The shape here is wrong. I gotta say that this style is really fun. Like, it's just fun to do because the strokes, there's just so many strokes and they all go in different directions. It's kind of wild energy, and it's not too technically complicated. It's more just expressive and loose. So it just feels pleasant to work on this piece compared to something that's all like got millions of architecture lines and perspective and everything. This one's just nice and easy. Nice and not easy, but I don't know, it just flows nicely. I also miss drawing trees. I love drawing trees because they just go and go and go, and they're just very graceful shapes usually. And now that I've done some programming, I can throw some cool words like recursive at you, because the way the tree grows is it's like a big branch that splits into two branches, and then that branch splits into two branches, and then that branch splits into two branches. So it's like recursive just means something that repeats itself over and over and over down a tree, sort of. It's funny how programming has a lot of things that, like, they even call the structure of the program, they can call it like a node tree for HEAVYPAINT, because all the nodes are like branching out sort of like a tree. There's this thing called GitHub that we use to keep track of our projects, and in GitHub every project is called a branch, and you can make new branches, and different people can get your project and make a new branch and then merge it back into the tree. So, and then there's all these people who actually make organic programs like that make art with code. Kind of cool. I actually took a class on that stuff. It's called a compute shaders class for trying to make art with code, and it was way over my head actually. Everybody in there was like super genius, and I couldn't keep up. But it was really interesting just to see, like, sort of how these guys are working and some of the magic behind it. Pretty cool. Alright, let me start merging this down. Yeah, okay. Save this one. I'll just save this one with a new name so I can work off a copy. Call it, what's this guy's name? Who is the guy that I'm studying here? Let's see. Bato. Dugarzhapov. I'm going to export it a little bit bigger. And I think I'm going to import this PNG into a new file so it's all merged down into one layer. Or I can merge it here. Either way, same thing. I'll try merging here just to test it. Merge. come on. Well, merge is broken. What the hell did I do? Good thing I tested it. Yep, I broke merge. Okay, well, we'll do the other way then, which is to import the whole image. So go here, import image. I'm gonna get Bato. Oh, let's change the size to match square. There we go. There we are. Just delete this one. Smudging. Oh, where's Bato? Here we go. All right. I think someday I'm gonna need to make a combo tool that like smudges and paints at the same time. That would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I think this is the best smudge so far. It's actually pretty useful. I mean it seems to be actually like kind of controllable, which I've always had issues with the old smudges kind of crazy. Well, actually, this one's sort of crazy too. Maybe it's just the style of this painting works well with smudge. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this version up tonight, probably, after I fix the duplicate was broken. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm excited to see what you guys think of this version. This is like the 10th version of Smudge so far. Never ends. But yeah, it's fun. Gotta have these little, direct marks here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I love all these little specks all over the place. It's pretty cool. I don't think I really did this area justice. I don't know how to handle it though. I think it needs just more detail and smaller strokes. Maybe it's just something like that. Just put in a bunch of random. Peter Chan's class ends tomorrow. How'd you like it? It's such a good class. I learned so much in Peter's class. His style is just so fun. And I learned to see these random ass colors that don't even exist. But they sort of do if you look hard enough. They're there. But damn, this is actually a really fun painting. I need to paint like this more often with all the tons of small strokes. It's really fun. It makes you feel like you're actually painting. pretty fun. This is like the opposite of painting with fill tool. I think there's almost zero fill tool in here, which I'm surprised at. Usually I can't live without fill. Whew. Okay. Alright, I think that's enough for this one. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty chill. At least my my palms aren't sweaty or anything. I didn't have a death grip on this one, so I think this was sort of like a relaxing piece to study. So I'm gonna try to do a couple more of these later, I think. I wanted to try this one too. Pretty smudgy up there. But I'll save that for another day. Anyway, thanks for joining in again. I'll see you guys next time.